After eating, Zhang Yi took Yang Xinxin back to the villa. Along the way, his face looked a little solemn. This made Yang Xinxin couldn't help but ask, "Brother, what do you think of Gao Changkong?" Zhang Yi raised his head when he heard this and smiled lightly. "Not that I have any opinion. Who is he and what does it have to do with me? It's just that I'm very interested in his abilities." Zhang Yi was sitting on the sofa, and Yang Xinxin sat beside him gently, staring at his side face with big eyes, which were as bright as countless little stars twinkling. Zhang Yi leaned on the sofa and said leisurely, "I was just wondering how, long ago his death is reincarnation, ability can be restarted. If he could go back 3 days every time he was reborn, it would mean that he would have 3 times the time of ordinary people. 7 days ago, it was 7 times. 10 days ago, it was 10 times. Zhang Yi's eyes were solemn. In this case, as long as he continues to use this ability, he will get many times more time than others. Coupled with the fact that he can know the future trajectory in advance, there are countless things he can do. Even if it is just used to improve his own strength, no matter how weak his talent is, he can still become a first-rate master. What's more, he is a basketball superstar himself and has a physique that is beyond ordinary people. So, Zhang Yi crossed his arms. The time-stuck bug must have given him amazing power. This is what Zhang Yi is worried about. People who master the rules of time represent unlimited possibilities. Its growth rate is far faster than others. Zhang Yi also somewhat understood why Gao Changkong was able to climb from the bottom area to where he is today, step by step. But at this time, the corners of Yang Xinxin's mouth curled up slightly. She tilted her head slightly narrowly and asked slowly, "But brother, do you really believe the abilities Gao Changkong explained to you?" Zhang Yi was slightly startled when he heard this sentence. Gao Changkong will definitely not reveal everything to me, but in terms of ability, there is no point in him lying to me. After all, his ability is not a big secret among the top management of Blizzard City. Yang Xinxin's black, jewel-like eyes rolled. But I always feel that his ability is very weird. Do humans really have the ability to reverse the timeline of this world? This sentence brought Zhang Yi's thoughts back to the time when he was reborn. Zhang Yi nodded. Maybe it's really possible. Yang Xinxin didn't understand why Zhang Yi was so sure. However, according to what he said, he can distort time at will and continuously change history within the reincarnation cycle of a day. This is no longer the domain of humans, but the realm of God, Yang Xinxin said slowly. Zhang Yi was silent for a long time. He just said, "Perhaps his upper limit is not just a Delta-level alien, but who knows?" He shrugged. It is difficult to verify the authenticity of other people's abilities, especially those involving the time domain. After all, he can reincarnate, but you can't. It seems like Zhang Yi can do it too. However, now, he has not discovered the password to unlock this ability of his. You can't let yourself die for an experiment, right? That would be too much. In short, there is no need to consider this aspect now. Relax. It doesn't matter whether Gao Changkong's ability is the same as he described. What we need to consider now is the integration and training of the Tengu team and picking up Liang Yue in 3 days. I don't know how much Liang Yue can grow, but I'm quite looking forward to it. Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin came to Deng Wan. They were waiting in Deng Wanbo's living room. Although Zhang Yi tried his best to keep his face calm, his eyes that looked out the door from time to time revealed his inner nervousness and expectation. What will Liang Yue become like? He thought in his mind, a little expectant and a little nervous. Soon after, he met Liang Yue. Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin saw Liang Yue. She was still the same as before, with her heroic eyebrows raised, her hair tied into a high ponytail, and her white outfit wrapped around her well-trained body. Not much seems to have changed. However, The nature of human beings sometimes requires us to put aside appearances and look at the essence. Zhang Yi knew that something must be different inside her. As soon as she saw Liang Yue, Yang Xinxin ran over happily and hugged her teacher. "Teacher Liang, are you okay?" Although Zhang Yi wanted to go over and ask Liang Yue about the experiment, he suppressed his impulse after catching a glimpse of Deng Yuanbo and Lian Cheng next to him. He walked up to Liang Yue unhurriedly. "How's it going? Is your current condition okay?" Liang Yue raised her head and met Zhang Yi's gaze. She smiled slightly and nodded. "I feel very good now. I have to thank Mr. Deng for his help." Zhang Yi secretly thought, "It seems that Liang Yue's strength has been greatly improved." There were still outsiders at the moment, so he didn't talk about anything in detail. Instead, he looked at Deng Yuanbo with a smile. "Mr. Deng, thank you very much." Deng Yuanbo smiled lightly and said, "This is what we agreed on. I said that if you can solve the eclipse, we will both benefit." Zhang Yi smiled and said, "If you say that, then I won't be polite to you." Looking at Liang Yue, Zhang Yi suddenly thought, if everyone around him could be transformed by the Deng family, would the overall strength of his team be improved by several levels? With this thought in his mind, Zhang Yi spoke out while Deng Yuanbo needed him. After Deng Yuanbo heard this, the smile on his lips became fuller. At this time, the butler Lian Cheng next to him explained to him, "Mr. Zhang, you may not understand how much resources we need to spend to improve the strength of a mutant, and not everyone can bear this kind of experimental process." Zhang Yi sighed. "That's it. Let me just say it won't be that simple," Deng Yuanbo said with a smile. "Although we cannot make them make such great progress in a short period of time. Like Miss Liang, we can still help them improve their bodies and improve some of their strength." Zhang Yi smiled slightly and had some calculations in his heart. He just asked, and he didn't know the rules, and asked directly. Because this can only be an exchange of interests, and he has no friendship with the Deng family, so it is impossible for others to help him for no reason. "I understand. I hope we have the opportunity to work together in the future." Deng Yuanbo and Zhang Yi exchanged casual greetings, but he did not make any requests. He is as friendly as an NPC who simply comes to give you buffs. But Zhang Yi didn't dare to look down upon him in the slightest. This kind of old fox is much better at playing tricks than him. Zhang Yi made an excuse and left with the people. Deng Yuanbo didn't stop them. Instead, he enthusiastically asked Lian Cheng to send them outside and let the Deng family's car take them back to their place of residence. Before leaving, he handed Zhang Yi a gold brooch and told him that it was a relic of Deng Shentong during his lifetime. "If you bring it with you, it will be much easier to integrate the members of the God team." Zhang Yi couldn't help but sigh that Deng Yuanbo was really considerate. It's just that for him, he doesn't need to rely on strength to tame a few subordinates. Along the way, Zhang Yi didn't ask Liang Yue too many questions because the Deng family's driver was there. But as soon as he got home, Zhang Yi couldn't shut up his chatterbox. He asked very curiously, "What is the Deng family's experiment all about? To what level has your strength increased now? Do you feel any physical discomfort?" Liang Yue took off his coat and put it on the shelf. Seeing Zhang Yi's expectant and nervous expression, she smiled. The process of the experiment was wonderful. They put me in a transparent plexiglass chamber. Then they injected me with some drugs and took some very strange operations. Recalling the process of the experiment, Liang Yue felt a chill in his blood vessels. She suddenly shuddered. "I feel as if I have been reborn. I mean literally, truly reborn. In 3 days, my skin was replaced and even my blood and organs showed significant changes. Because it requires staying awake for a long time, that feeling is not something that ordinary people can bear." Liang Yue's face was very serious. Zhang Yi couldn't help but swallow his saliva. "Is it so painful?" Liang Yue nodded. "If you have Poor physical fitness or your willpower is not strong enough. You may die in the middle of the experiment, or you may have a mental breakdown. Yang Xingxin couldn't help but walked over and gently hugged her body. Teacher Liang, it turns out you have suffered so much. Yang Xinxin's tone was full of distress. She still has great respect for this simple and kind teacher. Zhang Yi couldn't help but be silent, but Liang Yue smiled and shook his head. This was my choice. They also reminded me before the experiment. Although the process was very painful, my gains were also huge. She clenched her fists, surprising even herself with her newfound strength. For the first time in her life, she felt that her body was like a sports car that was filled with fuel and could run as fast as it wanted. Zhang Yi stared at Liang Yue and began to weigh her true combat power. Liang Yue doesn't need to say much about his combat skills. He is already at full strength. The only shortcoming is that it has devoured too few mutants, resulting in its combat power being only at the ordinary Delta level. According to Zhang Yi's inference, Liang Yue's previous comprehensive ability level was actually similar to Xiao Honglian, Xingtian, and others. So now, what level is her combat effectiveness? In Zhang Yi's mind, a plan quietly appeared. A smirk appeared on his lips. I think I should find you an opponent and let you test it out. The opponents Zhang Yi mentioned were naturally members of his Tengu team. The next day, at the training ground, on the ground floor of the combat center, Zhang Yi called all the members of the Tengu team to gather here. The first all-hands meeting of their puppy squad was held. The agreed time was 9 o'clock in the morning. Zhang Yi brought Yang Xinxin, Liang Yue, and Flower to the training ground. The 6 members of the Black Robe team have arrived here on time. Bailey Changqing waved and greeted Zhang Yi enthusiastically. Captain, everyone on our side is here. Wu Di and others looked at Zhang Yi with a lot of emotion in their eyes. Not long ago, Zhang Yi was just the leader of a force in Tianhai City, but now he has become their leader. It can only be said that, after the end of the world, more and more people will be able to quickly rise to the top with their own abilities, and the situation of seniority is becoming less and less. Zhang Yi walked over and scanned the scene, only seeing those in the Black Robe team, but he didn't see the 3 members of the Celestial team on the list. He already knew in his heart that those 3 guys must be unconvinced that he was the captain and deliberately gave him a bad look. The information about those 3 people appeared in Zhang Yi's mind. As the captain, he has fully understood the abilities of every team member. I also know those 3 people very well. The 3 people who survived were Ye Hei, Shui Miao, and Lu Yinghao. Bailey Changqing came to Zhang Yi with several people from the Black Robe team. Zhang Yi stretched out his hand and introduced Yang Xinxin and Liang Yue to them. Everyone is familiar with them, so I won't introduce them further. From now on, they will also be members of the Tengu team. Bailey Changqing and others looked at Liang Yue and Yang Xinxin with surprise in their eyes. Because when they were in Tianhai City, Liang Yue's combat effectiveness was far from reaching the first class level. At best, they are at the same level as Wei Dinghai and Xiao Hong. As for Yang Xinxin, she wasn't even a stranger in the past. A group of people were a little suspicious, but no one raised any objections. Because in the era of great changes, people will look at each other with new eyes after 3 days apart. You never know how powerful an ordinary person will become after he awakens his powers. Zhang Yi raised his wrist. Bailey, according to the regulations of the investigation team, what should I do if I am late for the meeting? Hearing this, Bailey Changqing smiled. According to the regulations, a major demerit will be recorded and a public review will be made in front of the entire team. The investigation team is a special force, and the tasks they perform are of great responsibility and may even endanger the safety of the entire Jiangnan region. Therefore, their discipline is stricter. Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows and said meaningfully, "Oh, The punishment is quite serious. The 3 guys on the list who didn't come, just follow this. Is Zhang Yi going to do this on his first day in office? But Bailey Changqing said in a deep voice, yes, discipline is discipline. Once violated, you will be punished without any reason. This is the iron art. Law of the military. The members of the black robe team looked at each other, looking gloating. Because if you are given 2 major demerits, you will be expelled from the investigation team according to regulations. At this moment, a cold voice suddenly came from above his head. Hey, let me tell you, who's late?